Alrighty viewers, welcome back to what is appearing to be an incredibly wet Suzuka Grand Prix. We are in Nico Hulkenberg's Force India. We have Sergio Perez right behind us, I think. Was that behind us or in front of us? I didn't actually see. We've got a pouring down circuit here. Suzuka famed for its long sweeping right and left corners here. Going to be very, very tricky in the wet, as once again we all know that if you've been watching any other videos that I can't get any kind of good start, least of all in the rain, and also don't seem to be able to play this game effectively at all, even in the dry. So this is going to be interesting as Alonso gets a slightly slow start like I do, as I just run into the back of him just to make sure that he's aware that I'm here. Welcome back to F1 2016. Hey, so Palmer and Magnussen moving up. It's good to see for them. That's it's quite nice. I moved down into mixture 2, just making sure that we have enough fuel for the rest of this. What is going to be obviously a very long race now because of the rain. As I just push past Massa, or try and push past Massa, who seems to be going quite slow on the exit, and allowed Magnussen to pass. As Magnussen again getting all over the place, as I struggle with the throttle sensitivity, just trying to keep it down but enough to not make the back wheel spin. We have the very nice silver with black and orange Force India car here today. Another one for this one we've already done. Sergio Perez is on Canada, I think we did with Sergio Perez. And again, my favourite car, the Renault Sport this year, up ahead, definitely going quicker than me. I'm definitely going to lose the pack in front, I believe, but I'm going to try and see what we can do. As obviously Magnussen and Grosjean struggle to, struggling at the back of the pack, but we'll see what we can do. As I say, I just get too heavy down on the throttle. I think I need to adjust sensitivities maybe with how the actual wheel performs on this game. It's a little bit different to Project Cars, which is pretty much the only other game I've been playing on this with the wheel. Alonso's not letting me go. He has passed Massa, which is good for him, as I just lose the back end a little bit there. Again, just being a little bit overzealous on the throttle. That means Alonso's come right up behind me now. I think the McLaren does seem a little bit quicker than it does in real life. I'm going to try and take this corner flat out, which might end up making it a terrible decision. Although I do lift, I do actually back out of that slightly, which has allowed Alonso to come through. I'm just try and just dive on the inside and take that position back, which I do. Bold move from Alonso, and a very good one too, but just doesn't make it stick as I lose the back end just once more in this final corner to the first lap. Some kind of theme park ride going on in the background there too, which is nice to see. Going to move it up into mixture 3. The light hasn't come on yet, which is good because we've only just started the second lap. Not entirely sure where the braking point is for this. I'm just going to sort of relax on the throttle and just drift round in third gear and see if we can just sort of keep Alonso out and try and straighten up the wheel before we get down hard on the throttle. This is usually a sector that I'm slightly better than the AI at. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case in the rain, but we'll see what we can do. As I get slightly too far out into the grass, which means get a little bit squiggly all over the place. Alonso's going to come flying through and take that position back, as he's got a much better exit, obviously, thanks to my weird spin as I drift around that corner, which is not going to help our speed or our tyres. Massa now all over me, as I'm definitely got a bit of gravel or a bit of grass on my tyres, because I'm definitely not being able to put the throttle down at all now. Even more so, Kvyat passes Massa as I break into this. I think I don't know what, I can't remember the name of this corner. I did know. Degner 1, Degner 2, things like that. Moving up into the hairpin where Kobayashi did his bold and angry moves a couple of years back in Formula 1 in real life. I go a little bit wide, which might give Kvyat a nice position here if we can get a good exit from there, which he doesn't quite do, unfortunately for him. But as you can see, Alonso disappearing off into the distance. Unfortunately, I think we're going to have to resign ourselves to the fact that I'm not as good as the AI when it comes to this part of this kind of track, unfortunately. But here we go. I break into Spoon, first part of Spoon, and then the second slightly harsher, tighter left version of first corner. Losing the back end slightly again. I'm just going to whack it up into mixture 3. Going to use it on this part and then maybe into the first straight, but probably going to have to consider backing out of it. We are going to try and do this corner flat now. I am going to be brave and see whether or not we can just bring it all the way around, even in the wet, which we can, which is good to see. I see a car backing out dramatically down there. Maybe there was an issue with one of the cars behind, but that's not a problem. We shouldn't be considering the cars behind us because we want to stay in front of them at all times. As you can see from the yellow dot, that is my teammate. I'm going to drop it down to, actually I say I drop it down to mixture 2, but then I see how close Kvyat is, so I'm going to mark it back up into mixture 3. In fact, Kvyat seems to have backed off a little bit, so I'm going to whack it down into mix 2 just a bit earlier than I probably would do usually, so as we don't break into this corner again and I just drift round, which isn't obviously the quickest way of doing this corner, but it does seem to be the smoothest way that I can do it, and I think that that's going to work slightly better for me. So last lap, this time I am going to lift a little bit heavier into this corner just to make sure that I don't do what I did last lap and lose another position like I did to Alonso. Not entirely sure where Massa's disappeared to. It's a shame for him because he seems to have been having a terrible race, as I just try and connect these corners as best I can with just a nice feathering of the throttle through there, which is probably the best I've done that sector, even if it was slightly slower than normal. Kvyat all over me again into Degma 1. Try and not get out into the gravel. Tricky corner really to do because it's usually taken quite quickly. And try and bring this just not too much onto the green there as we lose the back end just one more time. Has really been in the rain. Looks great in this mod. It always did look good in this game, to be fair. As I get wide out again, I need to start thinking about, I think Kvyat probably is going to fly through here. Is he going to whack it up into mixture 3 maybe? No, okay, Kvyat's back. I'm going to leave it back down in mixture 2. So not been an easy race at all. We've got Sergio Perez who's pushed up. I can see it looks like it could well be Masters that's about to pass Kvyat behind me, so that's interesting to see as we dive into the first sector of Spoon for the final time. And into the second again, just checks as I get out onto the grass. That was not good at all as I'm struggling to keep the throttle down at all. Kvyat is going to fly past me now as I try and move him to mix 3, but this is going to be tricky. I seem to have the speed on him unbelievably, which is strange to see, so I'm going to leave it in mixture 3 and just dive into this final sector to drop it into mix 2 before, so we know we definitely finished this race. As I just dive back, Nico Rosberg comes past the finish line to take first place, which is really good to see. Braking just after the 100-meter board, probably a little bit earlier than I needed to, but just to try and keep Kvyat out so I don't go wide, and then accelerating hard then just to keep this position. We're going to bring it in and close the door so that Kvyat has nowhere to go. I think just about that makes 12th place. So there we go, guys. If you enjoyed that, leave a comment down below to suggest what track and which driver you want to see next, whether or not you want to see wet versions of them all, and I will make it happen. But until next time, guys, bye bye.